Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Sorry for the brief lag about starting there. We're up, we're ready, we're going. What map are we even on? Jeez. This is what I get for searching matches while I'm not really paying attention. Fantastic. So, if any of the sound settings are off today, let me know. I updated OBS, and it's kept everything except my sound settings. So, it's a little... how do you say... Well, there goes all my sound, actually. What the fuck just happened? Oh, fucking shit. Where is advanced audio problem?
A creature is under attack. A creature is in danger. Creature lost.
The sound is still there, I just can't hear it. Why?
My thirst quenched.
That's really weird. Can you guys hear the sound? That's so weird, it's not coming out over here. That's gonna drive me nuts. I knew I shouldn't have updated OBS.
So much power. Oh, it's time to attack.
Yay! Okay. Well, I'm gonna leave it like that. For some reason, it's only capturing it when I have that other program on, which should be the total opposite.
Strike now.
Thank you, Godson, by the way. How are you doing today, Godson? Yeah, it should be the total opposite. It should only capture it when I have that program off, because that program should... It's another audio program, but it should end up taking the audio and not sending it to OBS is what should happen. And for some reason, when it's off, it's not sending it to OBS. It's weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Then again, it seems the only thing that changed was the audio stuff, so it must have been some audio setting update. Oh, cool! Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the stream enough that you would jump from Twitch over here and still watch.
Creature is under attack.
Yeah, I get that a lot, which sucks. It's one of the sucky things that happens with me streaming in the morning. Actually, one of the people that's in here quite a lot, it's actually kind of funny because Nordic, who's in here all the time, he actually works for a school. And that's actually the reason he's here all the time, is because he works in the IT department, and so he's at his desk for a while. And so he has all the time in the world to come and check out the stream. Actually, I haven't seen Nordic in like 2 weeks, and it's starting to concern me. Starting to feel like he jumped boat on me. Should actually look him up and see what he's doing.
From the lips of death.
One of us has fallen.
Where does that go? Oh, down here, that's fantastic. I'm doing a terrible job. Have I died? Okay, I've only died once. I thought I did twice. Cool though, it's greatly appreciated. Come back. Don't you want me to drain your health? Run away. There's too many of them up there. I don't have any sound right now. This is going to drive me nuts. Between matches, I'm going to have to mess with the sound. So if stuff gets screwy or too loud or too quiet, let me know when I get to that point. Because like right now, like this is I can't, like I really can't play without sound. I'm one of those people I gotta have sound. Gotta have it. There we go. Got an assist, that's awesome. What's really weird is I can't hear the sound coming out of OBS, even though OBS is supposed to be piping the sound out right now. Which is gonna drive me nuts. I'm wondering if... Oh no. There we go. That fixed everything. Sorry guys, I had to restart the stream. Sorry, that was, I had choices there, and the choice was play with, no sound, and I was gonna go nuts. About the time, you guys saw the video cut, I cursed about 1,000 times. Like, I was super angry. Darn. I went on a good little... I think I lived a lot longer right there than I thought I was going to. But yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to shut the stream off. I know. Rough start. I didn't realize that OBS update was going to be that big of a pain. I still like the bleeding effect on this more, just because it adds that damage and it bounces to multiple targets, applying more effects to more targets. Yeah, I got her with the... Oh, I got her with the... I thought I got the bleed. I'm seeing things. I'm insane. How's everybody doing today? Is everybody having a good day? I'm glad everybody can make it out to the stream. Today, I put on basically every character I like to play as, Xandora. And so, I think that's kind of what I'm going to stick with for today, is everybody's equipped that I want to play with. Everybody that I don't want to play with is not equipped. And... oh, come back. I'm gonna die. This is the part where I die. Ow. My bad. That was a bad move on my part. I got greedy. I knew that was going to happen too. And I wasn't really thinking about the fact that I was with Xandora. If I was Mozu, I probably could have got out of that situation, but... I've been playing Mozu and Beckett so much, it's just, I don't have any escapes with Xandora. And that threw me off. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have an escape. There's no way I'm getting out of here. It sucked. Do I have any kills? Okay, I have 2. I was like, it doesn't feel like I have any. It feels like I have a buttload of assists, but no kills. Is it good? I think it's amazing, Gaming Penguin, but that's my personal opinion. The animation and art style are brilliant. The gameplay is fun, and there's so much variety to it. Every single hero just has so much going on for them. You can play every hero so many different ways, depending on how you upgrade them. If you need any help, and depending on what version you're playing on, feel free to ask. I would love to help you. You're always welcome in the party as well. I love having more people in the party to play with. Right now, nobody's in here, since I just started. And I started kind of late for my stream. Nobody's probably going to be on. Wow, I can't believe I just survived that. And there's just there's a huge amount of heroes, too, and every single hero can be played probably at least 2 or 3 different ways. It's just, it's such a fantastic game. It really is. It's got just the right amount of depth, but I mean, at the core level, the gameplay it's simplistic. I mean, at the end of the day, you're really just playing team deathmatch, and you don't want to give up more kills than the other team is getting on you. But there's so much more depth to it than that. Welcome back, Godson. Welcome back. Also, thanks for checking me out over on Mixer, Gaming Penguin. I haven't had anybody show up on my Mixer stream in a few days, so it's pretty cool to see. Like Twitch and YouTube are always pretty active, but it's always neat when I see somebody pop up over on Mixer.
Sacrifice to debate. I'll tell you when to move.
Double hero kill! Woo woo! There we go. And a Highlander out of that. Let's go kill their Cyclops. Or work on killing their Cyclops. Lock her down in stasis lock to get my damage boost, and... get out of here before the Guardian starts shooting us. We'll probably... if we just cleaned it up that easy, we might actually do pretty well on the backside of this map. When is your next stream? Right now, it's kind of a weird thing right now. Thank you for following me, Gaming Penguin. Sorry about that if there's lag. They're screwing with the last 6 months to a year. They've been installing fiber in the town that I live in, and since they started doing that, my internet's kind of gone to. It does this weird thing where every now and then it does that. My stream right now, my schedule seems to be, and I just started streaming again, so this is the goal though, to stick to this, is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and normally in the mornings about this time. So if it's, I don't know if it's the morning for you, but it's the morning for me, and it's normally about this time. Sometimes a couple hours earlier than this. The goal normally is to get on a couple hours earlier than this, but it's normally around this time. I normally start sooner though. Like right now I have about an hour and 45 minutes left until I get off. Normally I'll start about 2 hours earlier than this and stream for a total of 3 or 4 hours. So I'm getting off at my normal time, but I just got on late. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Subtract 2 hours from that, so about 4 PM your time I'm normally getting on. Stream here, I stream on Twitch, and I stream on YouTube. Woo, we won! Good job. But yeah, surprisingly simple game, and yet there's a good amount of depth there. If you want to look, every character has upgrade trees and upgrade that you earn throughout the match, and you level them up. Tons of different ways you can play every character. That character I was just playing, she's kind of a vampire-y type character. One of the ways you can upgrade her, she'd drain a lot of health and restore her. She drains health and gives it to herself, and you can focus on that and really make her about healing herself. Or you can focus on debuffs, and she's got a lot of debuffs that will affect the enemy and make the enemy not as Hey Moss, how you doing? I didn't even see you pop in. That's the first thing you've said, right? Okay. That's awesome though, Moss. How are you doing today, Moss? I was looking at your name the other day, I don't remember. You were not here on stream, and something happened. I think I was looking for teammates, and I'm like, there's Moss, I can invite Moss. That's cool though, I totally support that, Moss. I really don't watch Twitch that much. Like, I very, very rarely do I ever actually watch streams. There's maybe a total of 2 or 3 streams I will actually watch. Other than that, I'm thankful you guys enjoy watching streams. I'm thankful you guys are here. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a streamer. Like, I find it very difficult to watch streams. Mainly because I'm a hands-on guy. I like to keep my hands in the mud, you know? But yeah. So today, and I said this earlier, like I said, I have all the characters I want selected. That's the other really cool part of Gaming Penguin, is you can actually, unlike most games like this, like Overwatch or like League of Legends and stuff like that, you can actually pre-select your character before you search for a game. So then when you get into the game, you're guaranteed to have that character. I actually haven't looked at my fortune cards for today, so let's see. Okay, so I don't have any that are actually done. I'm so excited to get this Emperor one done. It'd be nice to get one of my gold cards done. Knocked off. I still haven't won a game as Mozu. I've had this card for over a week, and Mozu's my main character, so that tells you how great a week I've had. Let's see. But yeah, if I were to cancel matchmaking and come in here, any box I have a check in, that's a character that I have selected to play as. And so when I get in the game, I'm automatically going to be on one of those characters at the minimum, which is really, really cool. It's probably one of my favorite features of this game. It sounds silly, but it's such a cool feature. So if I only put a box next to one character when I got into a game, I would definitely be on that character, which is awesome because then you don't have people sniping your favorite characters out from under you, which is just super, just fun, Moss, you need to stop. I don't know how you people do that. I can't remember my login when I have one. SnappyDude is pretty much my consistent name, and I have like 2 variants on it, 2 or 3 variants on it. I don't have. There's There's not a lot of there. And I can't remember my logons as it is. I don't know how you guys do it. You must have the memory of like an elephant. Why did I just drop 2 viewers? That's really weird. Yeah, both the Mixer viewers just dropped. That's super weird. Wonder what that's about. Am I still streaming to Mixer? It's really weird that 2 people that were just actively talking would just randomly leave. Let's put out the tweet that I'm streaming. Oh, that's so weird. That's so weird it's saying you're not. This thing is so goofy when it comes to, this chat thing is so goofy sometimes. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. It's not showing you here, which is, it's so weird. I bet if I go into, I'm curious now. Yeah, if I go on Mixer, it's actually showing you, but it's not showing you in my restream thing. That's so goofy. Anyway, yeah, so it's just a fantastic feature. You got summons down here. You can select which summon. This is about the only loadout type thing you have is what summons you take into a match. All the summons do different stuff. This is like a radar. When you summon these, you get kind of like a radar thing going on. They build walls. Trees heal people, dragons, kind of like a mortar thing. There's a lot going. Nordic, I was just talking about you! I literally just said Nordic is awesome, and he hasn't been in my stream in like 2 weeks, so I'm kind of worried about him. The face of a man. I do have a man face. I actually trimmed my beard, Nordic, if you didn't notice. How's work been, Nordic? I was literally just talking about you. I feel so excited that you're here, Nordic. I do. Because somebody was saying, who was it? Not Moss. Godson was saying that he was missing because of school, and I'm like, well, that's funny, because Nordic watches me at school all the time. But, I mean, he works at school. Yeah, Penguin, if you're getting the Xbox version or the Windows 10 version, not the, you're probably getting the Arc or Steam version, I would guess. But if you're getting the Xbox version, Xbox, open that. Oh, there you are, Penguin. That's awesome. I'm gonna join this game, but I'll pick you up in the next game if you want, Penguin. You actually have to do the tutorial before I can grab you anyway, so go do the... If you want to play, go do the tutorial while I'm in this match, and then we can play as soon as I get out. Because it's gonna force you to do that stupid tutorial. It's actually not a stupid tutorial. Pay attention to it, because it's actually... It is like... I wish that thing had been there when I started, because I did it for the first time last week. That is 100 times better than the tutorial I got when I started the game last year. That new tutorial they added is like brilliant. It is just fantastic. Ancestral power and cult of power. Ancestral secrets, cult of power. There we go. Boom. Okay. If you do get it installed, let me know. But yeah, you'll have to do the tutorial. I did the tutorial that was there last January, Nordic. Was the first one I did. And I thought that one was... It was a very loose explanation where you were forced to play as Gnosis. The new one, you can actually play as, I believe, a couple different characters. Yeah, and the new one's longer and it explains stuff better. The new one explains, like, shielding, like, if you get kills during, like, the attack phase thing, it'll bring up the shield on your Guardian, and like vice versa, it'll extend the time you can attack the other Guardian. None of that stuff was there before. I never even knew any of that stuff until last week. I never really paid attention to it. It's such a short, chaotic time. But like, none of that stuff was in that tutorial before. It used to just be Gnosis, and all they explained was focus and summoning was all they really explained in the old tutorial.
Step lively now.
So that new tutorial is just, it is awesome.
Take control of the battleground. Summon creatures to give me power.
Oh, okay. See, if you had said you were Moss, I recognized that. When you said Dragon's Plant, I was like, who? Kinda? Like, it sounded kind of familiar, but not super. Moss, though, I would have recognized. Yeah, and the new one, you're, like, forced to play it, too. And they force you to play the new tutorial, and then they force you to do a bot match. Think Rhino is my second account. I don't know how you people have so many accounts. Yeah, see, when I started, it was the old one. And the old one was really, really bare bones, and like, I think that's all it explained. The new one explains focus, it explains, the attack phase is a lot better. It's like so much better. It's one of the better tutorials I've played in a game like this. I'm actually glad they forced people to play it now. Like, it was really annoying for me to play it, because I was trying to play with Pizza Face at the time on PC, and I was like, I don't want to do this, I just want to play with Pizza Face. But I think with a game that has this much of a learning curve, I think you need to have a tutorial that's forced, and I think you need to have at least one, which is what it is. It's one forced bot match to kind of break people in and get them used to the game. Yes, you can, sir. You could have joined this game if you had said something sooner. I didn't realize you wanted to join, so I didn't even think about it. Yes, you can. Anytime I'm streaming Gigantic, the lobby's open. I don't think I've ever played Gigantic and actually said that people can't join. It'd be a really weird day. Run away? Okay, well that's fine with me. He can run away if he wants to.
A parlous turn.
I figured that. Gaming Penguin, that's the bright side of having names that are the same. That's the reason I have the same name almost everywhere, also, is it just makes it easier, especially for you guys, like... If you type in SnappyDude somewhere, unless it's really weird, it's probably me. I probably wouldn't use SnappyDude if I was gonna do like an account on like, I don't know, ballgag.com or something. I don't know. Like if I was gonna make an account in like a really weird place, it probably wouldn't be under that name. Anywhere else though, probably under that name. My Twitter, my YouTube, the Facebook fan page, they're all SnappyDude. Holy cow. What did I just get into? My basic thoughts on The Last Jedi. I actually started The Last Jedi. I've started so many reviews that I just haven't finished. I have a Generator Rex Season 1 review that is heavily edited, and like it's probably one of my better reviews for something that nobody will probably go watch this damn review, and it's probably the one that I spent the most time doing in the last 3 months, and it's still not up. I started it last week and I got sick and I just haven't done it. My basic thoughts on The Last Jedi for the review that I don't have up. I don't hate it as much as some people. I get some of the criticisms. I think it's a movie that has a lot of what I call fat on it. I think there's a lot of stuff in that movie that could have been trimmed and cut out. that would have helped it flow better as a movie. Because I think The Last Jedi suffers from the problem a lot of movies suffer from. It tries to cram too much in, and a movie's a movie. It's not a TV show. You don't have hours and hours and hours to explain your plot. You have a very small, very limited amount of time, and you need to tell your story and do it as concisely as possible. And actually, a really good example of a movie that cuts out all the fat, if you go watch Wind River that came out last year, I just watched it on Friday, I bought it. Wind River, it's got Jeremy Renner in it, the guy who plays Hawkeye in Avengers. Fantastic movie. Cuts out all the fat. The story is 100% what it needs to be and nothing else. That is such a good movie that has no excess storylines. It does everything it needs to within the storyline that it's trying to tell. It doesn't try to tell anything it doesn't need to tell. It is like the perfect storytelling in a movie. And The Last Jedi, I think, is a great example of it. It just has a bunch of storylines that don't need to really be there. But I don't hate it like some people. Like, I'm trying to think of like a good way to explain it. So there's some stuff that some people are hating on that I just don't understand. Like hating on the new Jedi powers, I don't understand that at all. Okay? Because okay, Jedis can choke people with their mind, but they're not allowed to make long distance phone calls in their mind. What? That doesn't make any sense to me, okay? That's out of all their powers, that is like the most reasonable one I've ever heard, that they can talk to each other across vast distances with their brains. And I've seen a lot of people actually dog on that one. Like, how can Rey and Kylo talk? Like, that's your sticking point? Characters that can shoot lightning from their fingertips, and you're complaining because they can make a long-distance Skype call, okay? Yes, Generator Rex, yeah. The cartoon, yeah. I love cartoons, I'm a huge cartoon guy. Yeah, some of the... I see, and I don't mind some of the fat. I think the whole... Okay, so the infamous casino planet that everybody seems to hate. I hate that. I agree. I think it's stupid, and I think it's one of the worst fatty parts of the movie. But I don't think it's necessarily that it's there, it's because of the way they use it. If they had went there and actually found the person they went to find, I don't think I would hate it. The problem is, they don't find that person. They just go there for no reason, find a random person, and there's actually, I'll try to find the link during the break. There's a author who did a really good review of The Last Jedi who talks a lot about this, and how that whole planet is super unnecessary, and they just go to it for no reason. I think a better way to have handled that particular plot line would have been to just skip it. You don't need a hacker to get onto that ship. Just have them sneak onto the ship some other way. Which, Star Wars has 1,000 sneaking onto ship moments between the different movies and the television show. You could find another way to sneak onto that ship and have it sound reasonable. And then after you have them sneak onto the ship, have all that same character building stuff. Because the main reason they go to that casino planet is really just to build up Finn's character, right? It's to... The whole reason that plot line is in there is to explore Finn's character and sort of, you know, show him, you know, give him a reason to fight. Because he's kind of the coward in the series, right? And so that's the whole reason that plot line's in there. Well, there's other ways you could have done that. You could have had them go straight over to that ship. You could have had that happen on the ship. You could have had those conversations happen on that ship. And the other thing is, you could have had Rose be a bigger part of them sneaking onto that ship. She's a mechanic. She could have found some mechanical way to sneak them onto that ship. And she would have had more to do. She really didn't do any... Rose didn't... Like, I don't really like the character of Rose because she didn't do anything in that movie. She really existed as a sort of plot device to give Finn a reason to care. But her as a character herself, she didn't do anything. She didn't hack into any consoles. She opens like one door in the whole movie, and that's supposedly her contribution. Besides adding to Finn, she's really just there to be a plot device for Finn. And I thought that was kind of disappointing. Like, I feel like they could have, like I said, I think they could have handled that differently. Skipped it, put it right on there. And then I think they could have had a better fight with Phasma. I think Phasma, again, was like super wasted. Yeah. I don't know. And the whole, like, adding the little kids in the, like, barn thing in, where the little kids are in the barn, it felt like such a Disney move. Like, I feel like Disney has to shoehorn little kids into every movie so that when kids watch that movie, kids will go, look, it's me! I could be a jockey on a weird, giant alien animal on an alien planet. That's so neat. But I have that problem with a lot of Disney movies that center around adults do that, where they just randomly add in a kid's side character, and it just drives me nuts because most of the time they don't fit. And I felt like that's the only reason they had kids in that role. I didn't like the fact that I think they moved one of the big things for the Force Awakened that they talked about constantly in the Force Awakened was the fact that they were going back to practical effects, and I feel like they took a step back in this movie with that. Like, there's probably more, it felt like there were more CG effects in this movie. Oh shit. Moss, I'm grabbing you, 1 second. I felt like there were more CG effects in this movie than... Oh, Moss, now we had to find your name. Are you online? I have you added, right? What's your name? I'm looking right at it, ain't I? Why am I not seeing you, Moss? Is it Rex? Is that what you said it was? I don't remember. What is your name? And why can't I find... There you are, Custom Moss. I'm like, I thought it was Moss. So I thought that was kind of annoying. Really my biggest problem was that casino planet. And a lot of the way they handled Poe's storyline really bothered me. Just because I'm a huge Poe fan and that storyline didn't make a lot of sense. Poe wasn't demoted that far. And I don't know why you wouldn't share your plan with him. Like, I feel like sharing the plan that you were trying to get to this planet that's not far away would have solved a lot of the problems with Poe if she had just shared that. But instead she didn't share it, and that's literally what caused him to have a mutiny. And it wasn't like a big deal. It's not like she was hiding some risky plan. Like, if she was hiding some, like, we're gonna, like, you know, we're risking our life, you know, like some super risk, like what Poe did at the beginning. He hid that until the very end when he made that run on that, whatever it was called, the giant ship thing at the very beginning. There was a reason why he didn't tell Leia he was going to do that before he took off. Because it was a bad idea. The plan purple-haired lady had was not a bad idea. It was actually an idea that made a lot of sense. Poe wouldn't have argued with that. But she didn't tell him for no apparent reason. And then he throws a whole mutiny, and it's just ridiculous that any of that had to happen. Also, the whole idea that she could turn around the ship and use it as a weapon and, like, just jump into them and destroy their ship. If she could have done that, why didn't they do that at the very beginning when they're being chased through space? Why not just, like, evacuate 2 of the ships? They had, like, 20 ships there. Evacuate 2 of them, turn around, use them as a weapon to cut the big Snoke ship in half, and then fly away while the Snoke ship's distracted. Would have been a great plan. Also, another great thing, I gotta find that review real quick. Let me find that review. It's by an author, and it's really, really awesome. He talks a lot about, like, the fact that they just jumped to nowhere in that. in that movie when they're being chased through space, and how that is like one of the only times in Star Wars you ever see a ship just jump into the middle of space. Most of the time they jump to right above a planet. And it's just really weird that they just randomly jump to the middle of space and then it conveniently sets up this long chase sequence. Which I think is kind of funny. Watch history. It can't be that far down in my watch history because I don't watch that much on YouTube. Huh. Or my watch history is really weird. And it's not showing everything. Let's see, Last Jedi. Huh. Well, that's weird. I don't know why that's not showing up. But overall, I didn't hate it as a movie. Like I have Star Wars friends who pretty against it, pretty angry about it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I think a lot of the problems I did have with it, I think could be fixed going into a third movie. My biggest problem with it overall, though, story-wise, was really just I felt like with The Last Jedi, what happened was, I think Disney. And this is just a personal opinion, I think they changed a lot of things because people had guessed a lot of things. And I think Disney looked at the internet, saw people guessing all these plot twists that were going to occur, and went, oh shit, they can't guess these twists. It's a Star Wars movie. They have to be surprised. So we're going to change the twists and make them something totally insane so that people will be surprised. Like, I feel like that's what really happened. I'm still of the very high belief that Rey's parents, we have not found out who Rey's parents really were. Or the other way is, I think either we have not found out who they are, or that whole plot line was changed. And the reason I believe that is because, A, that Disney Infinity thing, where, I don't know if you saw this, but in Disney Infinity, there was a scene in Disney Infinity, for The Force Awakens, where Kylo called her his cousin. And the developers wrote it off as, well, you can't totally understand it, he said something else, is what the developers said. It sounds like cousin. A bajillion people on the internet say it sounds like cousin. I think it said cousin. Does that mean I think that was the storyline all along? No. But the developers of Disney Infinity didn't just make that shit up. They have access to all this stuff from Disney from day one. Character designs, all that stuff. They get those notes. So they didn't just make shit up and put it in the game. They had detailed notes from Disney. Disney probably also spot checks all these things, and LucasArts. And to think that all snuck by, I think is completely ridiculous. And so I think at one point, she probably was Kylo's cousin. I don't think she was by the time The Last Jedi, by the time The Force Awakens actually came out. But I think at one point she was. So I think I think actually changed before The Force Awakens actually came out. But even in The Force Awakens, there's that whole scene where Leia goes, "Who is that?" And Han leans in and whispers to her, and they cut away. You wouldn't even show that scene if Rey's parents were nobody, or you would have Han Solo say, she's just a nobody from, I can't think of the planet she's from. God, that's gonna drive me nuts. But you would just have Han Solo say that. If it wasn't that important of a detail, you would just have him say it. Because he's Han Solo. He just says stuff like that. He's kind of crass and insensitive. He wouldn't be like, oh, I need to secretly whisper it to my ex-wife's ear because I don't want to offend Rey. You would just have him say it. You might not reveal it to Rey. You might not make it so Rey overhears it. But you would have Han say it. And even if that's still not who her parents were, you would still have Han say it so that it tricks the audience. But the fact that he leaned in and he whispered that in her ear, you don't do that for, you know, I don't know who she is, she's a nobody from some planet. Like, that's a really weird reaction to have if that's your answer. To me, you would only lean in and whisper it in her ear if you knew who her parents might be, and for some reason you didn't want everybody in the room to hear it. Because something about it was kind of negative or might offend people or stir up something in that room. And I still think Han had a good idea of who her parents were, or at least during that movie he did. And because we didn't actually hear it, it was an easy, cheap thing they could write off and change. I highly believe that. I think that scene in my mind, the only reason they wrote it that way was because at that time her parents were somebody we actually knew. That's the other reason I think that he whispered it, is because I think we know the character that is Rey's parent in some way, shape, or form. And I don't think you would hide it if we didn't know. Because if it was just like Joe Smith, like Han could say Joe Smith and you'd be like, I don't know who that is, but you know. I really wish I could find that video because he brings up so many good points. Like, he brings up this whole thing about Rey and how, and it really, when I was listening to him talk about it, because it's such a good video, he brings up the fact that Rey has no character growth. She's automatically great at everything, you know, and she's just always there. She doesn't really have an arc. Like, if you watch Luke in the original movies, he goes from being this, he goes from, I don't really want to be, he goes from being like this nobody kid to being like this Jedi Master. But he has an arc in which he gets slowly better. It's a YouTube video I wasn't able to find, Pizza Face. It's an author, and I can't think of what his name is because I've never read any of his stuff. And he talks about The Last Jedi. It's like a long rant about it, and I cannot find it for the life of me. I just watched it the other day, but apparently it didn't save. It was such a good video, too. Yeah, and that was kind of the point, is that she's just kind of, she doesn't really have an arc of character growth. She's just who she is, and she's just kind of everywhere, and I have no, how do you even do a third movie now, with the way they set that up? Like, it's really confusing to me, because it's pretty clear when The Last Jedi ends that, and I think, I don't think it was Rian Johnson, I think it was somebody else. Maybe it was Kathleen Kennedy from Disney, or Lucas. When Carrie Fisher died, they had said that she had a really, really important role in the third movie, and that the third movie was going to be her movie. It was going to be Carrie Fisher's movie. And I think the end of The Last Jedi shows that. Like, it's pretty clear the first movie was supposed to be Han's movie, the second movie was about Luke, and the third movie was probably about Leia. And now Leia's gone, so how do you even do the third movie without heavily changing it? I don't know. And it's kind of... I think it's really interesting how they're going to... Seeing what they do with that movie will be really, it's really interesting to me.
Close one. Higher?
Because I almost think you have to change the entire concept of that third movie now. Yes, it was! Pizza Face, have you seen this? Have you seen this video that I'm talking about? I think that's actually what it was called.
Clear.
It's a really good video. Like, he brings up a lot of good points. Because he talks really heavily about story structure and how that movie really just doesn't give a shit about it. Yeah, see, Pizza Face knows what I'm talking about. Pizza Face, if you find me a link to that video, you're my savior. Or remind me when this game is over so I can look it up and I'll post a link in the chat. And see, how do you kill Leia now? Because I think, in my opinion, what they should have done was they should have just killed her in The Last Jedi, but I think they didn't want to out of respect. But that scene where they blow up the cockpit and she's out in space, that would have been the perfect scene to kill her off in. And then everybody would know why she died, and it would be, you know, at least we would have her dying. Now they're gonna have to like CGI a scene with her and then CGI her dying, and it's gonna be really, really awkward. It's like an hour long. Yeah, and it's just gonna be so. Yeah, I saw you say it, Nordic. I was just agreeing with your point. Yeah, I wasn't trying to steal your point. So trust me. Yeah, but it's gonna be so awkward. Like, how do you can't even do that now? I was hoping I'd get a double kill right there. I almost did. But it's just gonna be so weird. Like, they should have just let her die in space and freeze to death. Like, I don't feel like if Carrie Fisher was still alive, she'd be like, how dare you kill me off in that scene and change the plot line of the movie. Like, I think she would understand and be like, yeah, that's totally fine. Just leave me out of the third movie. Then you don't have to do anything weird. And I think she'd be totally for that. Carrie Fisher was a pretty cool lady. I don't think she'd be all like, how dare you offend my image and kill me off after I shot that movie. Because she only had like 2 scenes past that anyway. And I think then you could have had more of a reason for Luke to come back. Like, if Luke's sister and Han have both died, I think he's probably going to get off his ass and go do something. And then I think you could have rewritten the movie to like... And changed it so maybe he did actually go to that planet at the end, and maybe he did actually fight Kylo. Or even if he didn't, like, then he's a lot... Then you just... All you had to do was kill off Carrie Fisher in that scene, and then have... I'm sorry if I'm talking spoilers for anybody that hasn't seen this movie, by the way. And then have Luke not do what he does at the end, where he... I don't want to give it away too much, but where he fades away. Like, keep Luke alive for the third movie, and then all of a sudden you just change that around and make it so you switch more into Luke in the third movie. And I think that would have been the best way to handle that. It sucks. Is it great that, you know, you're trying to keep Carrie Fisher alive? Yeah, but you aren't going to be able to use her, and at some point, for the sake of the story, I think even she would have agreed if she was alive. It would have made more sense. You know? You didn't like her Mary Poppins flying stuff? It just felt really, really weird. Because I think it's pretty clear that she was supposed to have a huge confrontation with Kylo in the third movie. Because, she really is the one thing that seems to still really tug at Kylo's heartstrings. And show his humanity still. Like, her and Rey are the only ones that seem to be able to really tap into that humanity that's left in him. And now, how do you do that? Because now you're going to have to rewrite all of Kylo's plotline, too, because I assume at some point they were supposed to meet. So now you have to pretty much rewrite all of Kylo's plotline as well, which is just, that is going to be such a complicated third movie to write. I honestly think, though, the biggest problem I had with it is, it was just, compared to Rogue One, which I still think is probably my favorite Star Wars movie, it was just a disappointment. Like, that set the bar really high for me. It did a lot of things I really didn't expect it to do, especially as a Disney movie. I'm not doing that well. But, you know, whatever. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan anyway, so I get over all this. Like, you know, bad Star Wars movie, not a big deal to me. Bad Marvel movie, I'd probably be a lot more upset about it. But we've had bad Marvel movies, like a lot of them, so it's not like I'm like, ooh. You know, at this point, I'm not surprised when a bad Marvel movie comes out. I'm looking at you, Iron Man 3. I'm looking at you. No, I am really excited, though. Let's talk about movies I am excited about. I'm super excited for Black Panther in a month. Like, I am stupid excited for Black Panther. That would be awesome. I'm so torn on the DC universe. I honestly just kind of wish they'd reboot it and just give up. They just keep rushing things way too much for me. It's like, I was watching Collider Heroes the other day, and they were talking about the Flashpoint movie. And they made the excellent point of, Flashpoint is just kind of like everything else DC is doing. It's a cool story, but you're rushing to it. It should be an event piece. You should build up to it. And DC really doesn't build up to anything. They just jump straight into, like, the big stuff. And it's... And that's probably my biggest problem with DC is, honestly, it feels like they just rush everything. It's like, calm down. Give us a, you know... Like Justice League. Like, we should have had one movie for all those characters before we had that Justice League movie. It would have made it 100 times better. It's the reason the Avengers was great, is because we had this build-up getting to there and learning about those characters, and then we were like, all those characters were awesome alone, now we want to see them together. You didn't have that with Justice League. You just had... And I like Justice League. I didn't think it was bad. I would actually, honestly, rather see the alternate timeline of Batman versus Superman than the actual Batman versus Superman movie. They should just made that dream scene an entire thing unto itself. That would have been like a fun alternate reality thing. But so far, the only movie I've really liked out of DC is probably Wonder Woman and Man of Steel, but I almost don't count Man of Steel because it was before everything else. It doesn't feel like it's part of the rest of them at this point because it was so long before everything else came out. What kind of movies do you like, Pizza Face? Just out of curiosity, like, what's your favorite movie of all time, Pizza Face? And I didn't love Wonder Woman, but I definitely think it's the strongest thing they've done. I will say, I think I did I do a review for Wonder Woman? I don't remember, but I definitely think Gal Gadot surprised me a lot in that movie, because, like, I'm not a big fan of hers. I think she's not the greatest actress in the world, and she did a really good job in that. No! The bleed damage got me, didn't it? Yep, that's what got me. Yeah. See, I like Man of Steel. But that's just because I don't think... Until Man of Steel, I don't think we've ever had a really good fight scene where Superman could really be Superman in a movie. And I think we're just now at the technology where you can do that. And that's the biggest reason I love Man of Steel. Is because it's Superman, like, unchained and unhinged and using his full strength. Flying around, super strength, all of it. Oh yeah, I think the cast was great. I will say, I actually like Ben Affleck as Batman in Batman vs. Superman. I do not like him in Justice League. I think in Justice League, it really felt like to me that Ben Affleck was just kind of phoning it in. Like, it's pretty clear he just doesn't want to be there anymore. Like, in my opinion anyway, like, that's the vibe I got from him when I saw him on screen, was just like, this is a dude who hates his job and is signed to a contract, and that's the only reason he's here. Which sucks. I actually, like, I think he made a good, you know, like, later in life, brooding, kind of dark Batman. A Batman who's just been beaten down over the years and is at, like, a really low point. And that's what I liked about his Batman, because it was so different. Because all the other Batman we've seen are kind of, you know, like, they're in their prime, they're doing their thing. And Ben Affleck was like, I'm a Batman that has been broken. I've lost my Robin. I've had a shitty run. And I think that was a fun and different take to have on it. At least for me, just because you don't see that side of Batman a lot.
Phew. Close one. Wait for it.
Yeah. Maybe that's why. Maybe because it was the group setting. I don't know. He didn't excite me. I'm really excited to see Aquaman though. I am that is probably the trailer I'm looking most forward to seeing this year when that trailer drops. Like, if there's a trailer right now I really want to see, it's an Aquaman trailer. Like, the art direction that they've taken with the Aquaman and the Atlantis stuff, I'm really enjoying it, and I really like Jason Momoa, because he is like the king of awesome bearded men. And so I'm really excited to see don't want to die. This is the one thing I think Marvel does really well is casting. But I'm so excited to see that in that movie with James Wan is such an interesting director. I think he's got such an just the interviews he's done about Aquaman have me really excited. Like, I really feel like he's done something really unique with that movie. Whether it's good or not, I don't know. But I think it's going to be unique. Yeah, I kind of agree. But, I mean, if Bale and Nolan didn't want to come back and Warner Brothers would rather do something different, I get why it happened business-wise. Even if artistically, it would have been really cool. You know what I just finished the other day, now that you're talking about a Pizza Face? I just finished Ash vs. the Evil Dead on Netflix. I would have never taken you for a horror movie fan. Hey, Kevin, how you doing today? Welcome to the stream. You play Gigantic? Who's your favorite character? But yes, I would have never taken you for a horror movie fan, Pizza Face. You don't scream that to me. You're not like, I don't know. Because I've never seen you. I've never gotten that vibe from you. It's cool. I am very much not a horror movie person. Probably the one genre I don't really partake in that much. I do love Cabin in the Woods, though. The Cabin in the Woods movie from like 5 years ago, that was such an amazing movie. What was the last horror movie I actually saw? I bought a horror movie not too long ago. I don't remember what it was. I buy movies all the time. That whole bookshelf is movies. And it's packed and it's like 6 feet tall. I need to get a new bookshelf. Go away! Leave my tree alone. Things you never thought you would say. Did a lot of damage right there, but I didn't get any kills. It's actually on my list of, there's a list of about 20 or 30 movies that I have written down that I want to go back and watch that I've never seen, and I believe that's on there. Tolkien. I don't like Tolkien that much. As a writer or as a... are we talking about the movies or are we talking about the books? Because if we're talking about the books, I actually don't like Tolkien as a writer that much. He's not a bad writer, he's a good writer, it's just his style isn't for me, really. But in cinema, I'm good if they just leave him alone for a while. I kind of wish somebody would find some other mythological universe to do. Because I would like to see a mythological universe take off in cinema, but I don't want it to be the Tolkien-verse. I know that's probably blasphemy for most people, but... I don't hate the Tolkien-verse, I just think... I think it's got a lot of established rules and lore, and I think that holds it back. Especially with how much people love Tolkien as a writer. Because anytime you go outside of those rules and those names in those places, people are going to freak out. The Hobbit movies are they're okay. They're definitely... The Hobbit movies would be good if we didn't have the Lord of the Rings movies. Let's say that. Because I don't think they're as bad as most people think they are. I don't think they're perfect. I think they have they definitely have bad moments. But I don't think they're terrible. They have good moments too that I think a lot of people overlook. And I think that's kind of disappointing. Wow, I'm doing terrible. So that sucks. I like the last two. You know what's weird is most people I know like the first Lord of the Rings movie a lot, and they like the third movie a lot. I don't like the first movie at all. I think the first Lord of the Rings movie is so goddamn boring. I don't know how anybody makes it through the first 2 hours of that movie. Like, the only good part in the first Lord of the Rings movie is the end. That fight at the end. Other than that, I think that movie is atrocious. I have no idea how anyone makes it through that movie. It doesn't have bad acting or anything, it's just, I just think it's boring as shit. And I hope my curse words are explaining how boring I really think it is. Like, I hope they're, adding emphasis to what I'm saying. See, I think that could be a good, Yes, I can, Kevin Carr. Send me an invite on, Xbox. Send me a friend request. And, I will add you as soon as the match is over. Unless I already have you added. Do I have you added, Kevin? I don't know. I had so many people. I'm sorry if I have you added and I just can't remember. I probably add 2 or 3 people a day. It's really hard to keep track sometimes. I'm not trying to be that guy that forgets people's names, but I'm that guy. I can't remember anybody's name. Ask Pizza Face. He knows how bad I am with names. SnappyDude, one word. Just send me a friend request. Super easy, super simple. It's all you gotta do. Like, I'm not even a big, like, World of Warcraft person, and I didn't like that movie that much. But I still would have liked to have seen it do better, and just to give us a different cinematic universe that's kind of in that vein. Because there are no good fantasy movies, like, for the most part anymore. You don't really see them anymore. It's just kind of kind of like the Western. It's just kind of gone away. Every now and then you get a really good one, and then it... I'll shoot him and die. I'm just not doing well. It's my worst match in a while. Good job, Kevin. What was that horror movie that I bought? You got me really curious now. I want to go back there and look. I bought Get Out, but I don't think that's what I'm thinking of. Get Out is not really a horror movie to me. It's kind of thriller. Get Out's a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen Get Out, go watch that. No problem, Kevin. I probably, if I didn't want to play with people, I wouldn't stream. That's how I look at it. Like, if I wanted to play alone, I would just play alone. Only 2 of us remain. That's fantastic. Well, we just lost, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I can defend this thing without... Yeah. If we had maybe had 1 more person or 2 more people alive, we could have done that. Get Out is fantastic. I actually like Get Out. I really didn't think I was going to like Get Out, but I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to. Yeah, actually, now that you say it, Nordic, I do think TV is a much better platform for them. I think most of a lot of the stuff I've seen, and that's the same with Westerns. Like, I think we've gotten a lot of really good Westerns on TV. Like, even Westworld, which is, like, half sci-fi, is pretty damn good for a Western. And then you have Hell on Wheels, which is just fantastic. And, God, what was the other one? The one Netflix just put out, that Western was pretty good. And it's the same with fantasy. Gaming Penguin's in a match, but I'm going to invite Gaming Penguin anyway. I don't know if it'll let Gaming Penguin quit that match and join us or not. Kevin. Now I gotta find Kevin. Oh, that's right. I didn't accept his friend request. Yeah, my bad. Social notification. Think Rhino. View profile. Did anybody else want added while I'm inviting people? And Kevin Carr. But yeah, I watched Wind River last week, and I was super impressed with that, because normally I'm not a big, like... That's very much a cop movie and very much a crime movie. And I really, really did not expect to enjoy it nearly as much as I did, and I really, really enjoyed Wind River. I actually do have an ARC account, and I have tried to... You missed the last couple streams where I've talked about this, Nordic. I made an ARC account. I've been trying to get it to work. I cannot find a game. It will not put me in a game. The matchmaking will not put me in a match. I have tried for probably well over an hour at this point at various times and cannot find a game. It will not put me in a game. Because I've been trying to play with Pizza Face on YouTube, over on YouTube. Me and Pizza Face have tried like twice now, and I've tried a couple times by myself. It just will not put me in a game. I just sit there, and the minimum I've tried is like for 20 minutes I've just spent. And it won't put me in games. What I'm going to try to do is when I get a little bit of spare cash, probably next payday maybe, because I get paid next Friday, maybe this Friday. I don't get paid this Friday, but we'll see how much money I have left at the end of the week. I'm going to go and buy the starter pack. And I'm going to see if having all the characters selected at one time will let me get into a match. Because right now, it just will not put me in a match. But yeah, that was the goal. Like, one of the things I said when I started streaming again, I said I was going to start playing more with the PC players on ARC and Steam. And I've been trying. It's just not been working out, Nordic. It's not been working out. You're always at work when I play anyway, Nordic. What do you care? What was I going to do? I was going to go look at what Kevin sent me. Worst. It is odd that I cannot find this video that I wanted to find. Oh. A petition. You're gonna start like a what's the change.org. You're gonna go change.org and start a change.org petition to... I'll be Oru. I haven't played Oru in a while. You cannot confirm and or deny. Aren't you supposed to be helping young teachers put thoughts into the minds of students and grow trees of knowledge or some lunacy? I really wish I could do that. I really should bring my laptop to work. I'm pretty sure they'd call me out on it. Nordic, I wish I could hire you to come be my IT person, because where I work, there's two facilities. There's like a main facility, and then there's our facility, and they don't have an IT person at our facility. And getting an IT person out to our facility is like pulling teeth most days. It can be a giant pain in the butt. My printer was broke for like 2 weeks and nobody would come fix it. That's true. You should always learn the technology you want to know. And see, that's the type of person I am. Is I would rather learn this stuff. Like if our IT people would come out and like show me how to fix half the stuff that's wrong, I wouldn't care to fix it. That's how I actually all our machines and equipment that we operate. That's not the computer stuff. I fix all that stuff, and most of the time I fix that stuff if I can because I've learned to fix it because I like. The more I know about how it operates, the more efficiently I can do my job, and I feel like that's part of my job. Part of my job is to be as efficient as possible, and if I just shut down my machine to have a mechanic to wait 30 minutes for a mechanic, then I'm not being very efficient, and I should figure out how to fix it on my own. And so that type of stuff is always like been a big part of my work ethic. Is I don't know where that Ezrin went. Oh shit. Gotta run, gotta run, gotta run, gotta run. Oh shoot. This is a bad place to upgrade. I might be able to get away with it right here. This is probably still a bad place, but... Oh, that sucks. Having good training is like such a huge part of anything. Woo, get kill! Oh, I wasted that. I didn't even pay attention to the fact he didn't have a card on him anymore.
On my way. Strike its heart now. Do not have much time.
Darn it. Teacher Moba does not teach is in his ex-math teacher. Yeah, see that's weird. Most math teachers I know are like the techie ones. Like I knew a lot of math teachers growing up who were like real. That was like their thing.
Our creature is in danger. We have lost a creature.
Because they're normally kind of the smarter, nerdier one.
Creature on route.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just don't understand how training is such a big thing to me. It's become such a... Since I've gotten into, like, a supervisory role, like, I've started to realize how big an issue getting people trained well is and how important it is to having an efficient team. And right now, I really struggle with it with my team just because I've had such a high turnover the last 6 months where we've brought in, like, my team has expanded so much that it's made it really hard to stay on top of training efficiently, and, like, I'm constantly finding gaps with people, and it drives me nuts. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I am in the Midwest. It's fantastic. I'm in the Midwest, and someday I would like to not be in the Midwest. I shouldn't say that. I'm in the Midwest, and someday I would like to move out to the West. I haven't lived on the West Coast, and that's the one place I would bucket list I would like to live for at least a little while at some point in my life. I lived on the East Coast for a while. It wasn't bad. It was a good experience. I think I keep pushing in too deep. I have 3 kills though. I mean, that's not bad. Central Midwest, more like Indiana type area. But I mean, it's same latitude. I mean, we still get snow. It's not as like deep. It's not like you know, like Minnesota snow. It's not like 2 feet deep and constantly, you know. We get snow. Like there was snow. There was a couple inches of snow on the ground for about the last 2 or 3 weeks, and now it's gone. And I'm kind of sad. I miss the snow.
Protect us. That was close.
I don't mind the snow so much, because I've had this discussion with people over the years. Like, I've had a couple friends who were like, I want to move to Florida and start a family. And I don't have anything against Florida, by the way. I'm gonna say that right now. Like, go for it. Move to Florida. But one of the things, because like I had this discussion with an ex, like one of my exes, like we had a very serious discussion about, you know, like if we had kids, like, you know, what would our lives be like, and she really wanted to move further south, and it was at that point that I never really thought about it. I can't imagine raising my kids in a place where there is never snow. Like playing outside in the winter, snow days. That stuff was such a huge part of my childhood and like such a huge part of my childhood memories. I can't imagine growing up without having a snow day or building a snowman or building a snow fort in the yard or like so much fun. Like I feel like that's just a wasted opportunity in childhood if you can't have that stuff. You can always visit the beach. You can't really visit. Visiting snow is hard. You wait till it snows, and then by the time you get there, it's probably melted. Unless you're like gonna go visit Alaska or something, you know. Double hero kill! Woo! Minnesota? You live in Minnesota? You know what's funny? Speaking of states, while we're talking about states, so my nephew the other day, he's in that grade where they, you know, they go around, they learn all the states, and they learn all the state capitals. I don't know the last time I thought about state capitals, okay? This is like 20 years ago I was at that age. And my sister was testing him, and they were talking about it. And so she was like, she would name a state, and then he'd have to name the capital. And I was doing better than he was, and it was so funny to me. I was laughing so hard about it. I was like, you know, but I'm like, I haven't tested on this stuff in 20 years, and I remember it. And I'm like, you've probably been told it 100 times in the last week. I'm guessing she just power slid off that way. 18 inches in 36 hours is insane. Damn, Nordic, that's insane. Yeah, it's where I'm at. It's all melted right now, so I'm pretty happy with that. It's actually been pretty warm, and it's supposed to get warmer. We're supposed to have a 60-degree day this week, so that's pretty exciting. That's true. It does happen in Florida, Pizza Face. Do you want to come to Florida? We can meet up. We'll meet up in Florida. Maybe something crazy will happen to us while we're there. I wish I got snow days from work. That's probably the one bright side about working at a school, is you actually get snow days. I don't get snow days. I wish. I miss snow days. If I actually got snow days from work, I'd probably go outside and play in the snow. I wish I was lying. Like, I'd probably go outside and be like a giant kid. But I don't get snow days, so then I go to work and it's snowing and I come home and it's done and I'm like, I don't want to go outside and mess around in that stuff. No. I have a hard enough time shoveling my driveway. I'm such a big kid, it's stupid. Burmese pythons, sharks. Florida's a crazy place. It's like the less friendly version of Australia. Yes! Oh, Monty got him. Oh, that's no fun. You stop jumping around, you crazy... Where'd the assassin lady go? Where'd she go? I don't think she ran away. I think she's hiding over here. Knew it. I called that. Darn it! That is the second time that Wrecker has thrown up a wall and blocked one of my kills. And both times, the wall actually stopped. Let the bad guy get away. The bad guy. I shouldn't be allowed to talk to adult human beings. Nah, I've never been to Florida though. I lived, like I said, I lived on the East Coast for a while. I liked living on the East Coast. It was fun. It was a different experience. It was really cool seeing just how, like, society there is totally different from where I live. Like, in the Midwest, like, you have gaps between towns. Like, there's, you know, you get outside of a town, you drive through like 20 miles of open field and you hit another town. And on the East Coast, it's almost like all the towns kind of bleed into each other. Like, there might be a spot where there's less houses, but there's never really a spot where there's no houses. It's all very compact and clustered together, and in some ways that creates really cool stuff. Like, you don't have to drive very far to get to anything on the East Coast, which is fantastic. Like, everybody I knew on the East Coast, like, if you had to drive like 10 minutes for something, they were like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Like me, I drive 30 minutes to work every day. Driving does not bother me at all. Like, I had a job when I was living on the East Coast that I had to drive like 15 minutes to get to this job. And I remember everybody I knew out there just thought that was insane. They're like, you have to drive 15 minutes to get to work? That's crazy. Why would you want a job that you have to drive 15 minutes to get to? Right now, I drive, like I said, I drive 30 right now. Like, driving does not bother me at all. Like, I used to have to drive 15 minutes was the minimum I've ever had to drive for a job. And I used to drive 15 minutes in the snow through, like, open highways that have, like, drifted snow across them, and you couldn't see where you were driving at, like, 5 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, driving 10 minutes to get to work ain't that bad. That wasn't a bad game. I did really well that game. My daily draw. Let's see what it is. We're going to go with win 3 matches. Play. There we go. Why is Kevin's name... Do you not have anything selected, Kevin? Okay. I was like, that's odd. Why don't you have any pictures in your boxes? I thought maybe it was glitching or something. Oh, that's right. Kevin sent me a message, and I never got around to reading it because it was still loading my. Hello. Oh, I actually did well that game. That's probably the best game I've had all day. But no, I'm cautiously excited. Back to the Star Wars thing. I'm cautiously excited for the third movie. I'm gonna have to go get tea whenever we find a game. Ready up, everybody. I don't know who's not ready. Good. There we go. But I'm cautiously excited for the third movie because I feel like a lot of the stuff they did in The Last Jedi that I didn't like a lot of the plot choices that they made in the second movie that I didn't like, I think could end up having, like, twists to them. Like, a lot of the people who are saying they think Snoke might be alive, like, I think that could be a really cool twist. Like, I think there's a lot of cool things they could do with what they've set up and add whole new twists and spins to it. And I think they can make a huge comeback that could only happen if they had a second movie the way they did. But at the same time, I'm not happy with The Last Jedi. I don't think it was perfect. But I think it's interesting. As long as they learn from it. That's the important thing, you know. Learn from your mistakes, learn from your failures, learn what works, learn what doesn't. That's what I'm trying to do on YouTube right now. If you haven't noticed, if you haven't been to my YouTube page in a while, go check it out. It's fantastic. It's remodeled. It's fancy. There's brand new thumbnails on everything, and it's shiny and pretty. And I tried to take down a lot of the stuff that I thought didn't work or was kind of outdated. And I'm trying to keep the stuff up there that I think works well. I'm trying to do more of the stuff that people like. So I've narrowed it down. The YouTube channel is all movie stuff now and game stuff. Everything else I've gotten rid of. And I'm trying to focus on those two categories because those seem to be the things. People like listening to me bitch about movies, and they like watching me play games. And playing games with me, which is fantastic. And so those are the two things I'm trying to focus on now. And the only other third category that people seem to like is my video game tutorials and guides, because my Skylar and Plex stuff has done surprisingly well and gotten an amazing amount of positive feedback, way more than I ever thought it would get. So if you play Skylar and Plex, I have a guide up for every single achievement. You should go look up all those achievements you don't have, because they're pretty easy to get, and you could get them if you went and looked at my guide. Yeah, I mean, I think there's stuff they could do to turn it back around, Pizza Face. Like, I don't think just because The Last Jedi wasn't the greatest movie, I don't think it's like, oh god, the entire franchise is doomed. There's no way they can make the third movie, because I really like The Force Awakens, so I think they could make a comeback. Like, this isn't the worst, like, you know, this isn't, I don't know, what's a really bad movie in a series? I don't know. You know, because, let's look at the prequels, which are pretty bad in general. Like, besides the Jar Jar bits, I actually think, what's the first, episode 1 of Star Wars, I actually think that movie's really solid if you cut out the Jar Jar bits. And maybe the goofy sections of, like, the Anakin kid stuff. Like, pod racing is cool, but, like, the announcer voice is kind of annoying. But if you cut out the Jar Jar bits, I really like The Phantom Menace a lot. I thought Clone Wars is terrible, but arguably the third movie is, like, normally the one that people like the most in the prequel trilogy. But the second movie is normally the one I hear people, either that or the first one, people don't like. And, but I think that made a comeback, because most people most people I meet don't really hate the third, episode 3. And so I don't think all hope is lost just because The Last Jedi is, you know, not the greatest. It's not the worst. Like, I still think the stupidest scene in The Last Jedi is the whole thing where she follows Luke around for a day and sees everything that he does on that planet. And then he's, like, milking the, like, alien walrus and fishing and doing pole jumping, and it's just a weird scene that I don't understand. I'm gonna grab tea real quick. If it hits 5 minutes, I'm gonna restart the search. By the way, whoever's still in here. But no, I didn't. Like, I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. I was actually gonna do a top 10 movie. I probably watched 10 movies last year, but I don't know if I have a top 10 from last year. I can probably give you a top 3. Logan's my #1 movie from last year. Logan is still probably, it's probably up there. It's probably on my top 5 movies of all time. I really, really like Logan. Just because I'm a huge superhero fan anyway, something that serious and grounded, I really, really enjoyed. Thor Ragnarok's probably up there. I don't know, can I give you a top 5? Let's see. War for the Planet of the Apes, that was a freaking awesome movie from last year. I need to find that other, there we go. Scroll all the way down. Oh, I bet it is. A lot of those fan edits are really cool. When I was in high school, there was a fan edit of Lord of the Rings that cut out everything except, like, very, very minimal dialogue and the battle scenes, and that was just fantastic. You know what's awesome is, when we're talking about the prequel era, the Clone Wars TV series, which I own on Blu-ray back there, fantastic show if you've never watched it. Like, just a fantastic, fantastic show. I'm not even a Star Wars fan, and it's such a good show with such good character development. I cannot believe I cannot find this video by this author that I know I just watched 2 or 3 days ago. And it's like an hour long. And you even know the video that I'm talking about, Pizza Face, and that's what makes it so annoying. I would totally watch it. You know what, honestly, and I was talking about this with somebody the other day, because I talked about it quite a while back with some friends when Disney bought Star Wars. And I was talking about it again the other day. I'm so surprised that Disney... I googled it and I can't find the actual video that I was thinking of. It's like an hour-long video and I can't find it. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's the thumbnail on it's really bad. This is not the video, but it is a lot like this video. It's basically this kind of the same kind of premise as this video, though. Yeah, that's a different video. I haven't actually watched that one, though. It's funny, though, that they basically have the same name, but that other one's the same. I haven't watched that one, but I'll probably watch that one, too. I've been watching a lot of those Star Wars, the worst, you know, like, Last Jedi videos, just to kind of get a gist of, a general gist of, kind of other people's opinions and sort of see where I fall on that spectrum. What was I talking about, though? Oh, my top 5 movies of last year, let's see. So Thor, War of the Planet of the Apes, Logan. I don't know, was there a number 5? I'm sure there was a 5. Go punch this frog. Punching Beaver has returned. I really want to get better with Vadasi, but every time she comes up, I just don't want to use her. I'm just like, I'm good. I don't want to use you, but Aussie. Whee! Butt slide! Whee! I'm really trying to think. There has to be a 5th movie I liked last year. War for the Planet of the Apes.
Creature is under attack.
Thor. I'm gonna go with John Wick 2. I'm gonna go with John Wick 2 to round out my top. What is that, 4? 5? It's either 4 or 5. That's about it. See, I don't even think I could have made it to 10 last year. Like, Get Out was great, but it's not super my thing, so I can't really say it's like my favorite movie of the year. I'm wondering if I'm gonna keep searching for that later. But yeah, it was like I didn't hate last year for movies. I just guess I didn't see as many movies last year. And a lot of the ones I did see, like, they were good, but they just weren't my thing. So I would feel very awkward putting them in a top 10 because I go to the movies almost every Friday. So to say that I didn't see 10 movies would be ridiculous. But I just, like, a lot of stuff didn't hit me last year. It just, like Coco. Like, I thought Coco was a really good movie. I thought the last, like, 15 minutes were, like, super, super emotional. And, like, probably some of the best, like, emotional scenes I've seen in a Pixar movie. Especially a standalone Pixar movie that doesn't have, like, Toy Story. Last 10 minutes of Toy Story 3, like, I'm crying my eyes out. But that had 3 movies of build-up and my entire childhood and nostalgia. For Coco, none of that, and it still really, really hit me. But at the same time, Coco wasn't like, I didn't love Coco. Like, I thought it just wasn't, like, great, in my opinion. It was pretty average. I thought the Book of Love actually did a lot of the same stuff that Coco did better. Butt slide. Tremble. I'm trying to remember how, because I had an upgrade order for Pako that I really, really, really liked. I think it was Days that I was going with on this. Pizza Face, how is the weather in jolly old and you live in England, right? Why am I biffing it on the thing? cold and windy. I actually might be coming to the UK this fall, if I can figure out a way to get time off work. A couple of my close friends are getting married. Getting married. Getting married. On the other half of your island. That's about how it was here this week. That's about how it was for me. It was snowy, and then it all melted, and this week it got a lot warmer. It's kind of nice. Darn it. Faster. Slip and slide goes longer before attacking. Cross pathing, sleep an extra second. It's been too long since I've played Pako, so I'm finding it very I'm finding it very difficult to remember how I played Pako. I don't know how I did so good like the first 10 times I played Pako, and now I can't play Pako at all. There we go, I got a kill. Thank goodness. Plus, upgrade order is, like, so important. Like, I don't know what to upgrade, what to, like, leave right now. I know what I'm upgrading, I just don't know, I just don't know the order that I want to upgrade stuff in. Does that make any sense to him? I hope it does. I'm not going down there if they're all healing. Screw that. They can come back up here. They can come back up here and fight like a real man. Whatever Margrave is. There we go. There's another kill. I'm getting greedy, I'm gonna die. Darn it, I was hoping I could pop that focus and get out of there. What was I talking about? Some movies. But if I could probably make a bigger list of movies this year that I really want to see than movies from last year. I think, isn't Aquaman coming out this year? I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Black Panther. I'm excited for Infinity War. I'm excited for Ant-Man 2. So many good superhero movies coming out. I know there's something else that's not superhero related, but I'm just whiffing on it right now. Ooh. I wasn't getting shot by a mommy, I had to stay and play.
I feel better now.
Oh, let's see. I mean, they're about your young, you know, blah, 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 blah. Darn it. Let's see.
Creature is in danger.
I'm coming. Here I come.
Did we build anything over here? Yeah, okay, we did. We built a tree. Might be one of the worst Pako games I've ever had. I'm excited by the news of a John Wick TV series, by the way, which I think is weird because I didn't do a video on it, which I should have. Because I think it's an interesting bit of news. Because I think Showtime or whoever it was that picked it up, I think good choice for who picked it up. But it's also just kind of a weird, like, so much about what makes that universe work is the detail and the care that the creators put into it. And so it worries me that you're going to have a TV series which probably in the long run will deviate pretty far from their original intent and sort of ideas for it, because that's just what happens with TV shows. The people, you know, who spent, you know, years making the movie just don't have the time to put into every single episode the same level of care and world building. Darn it. This is my last game, by the way, guys. I'm sorry. If you're not subscribed or whatever, wherever you're at, subscribed, followed, follow me. Because we're probably going to lose here in about 30 seconds. Subscribe, follow me wherever you're at. If you're playing with me right now, as is the case for Kevin and Moss, thank you guys for coming out and playing with me. Check me out most mornings about this time. Wow. And there we go. Go guys, you can do it. Oh, no, the ball. A wee bit longer. Oh, we might live. We might do it. Oh, it's gonna be so close. Oh, yes. Oh, damn it. There they did it. That sucks. Thanks everybody for coming out and watching. Sorry the stream wasn't longer today. I got a late start. I came home and accidentally took a nap. Like I said, subscribe. Check me out wherever you're at. Subscribe, follow me. Check me out on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Keep on smiling. And I'm gonna go shower and go to bed. Work sucks. Ta-ta, everybody.